water, for me, being a Piscean, is actually quite an interesting thing. And one of the things that I didn't have, and I don't want to sort of start this up on a sort of a melancholic thing, is that I wasn't very good with my father. Mine and his relationship weren't brilliant. And this is one that I wrote about that relationship, called Water Signs. He was a Scorpio, I was a Piscean. Feeling dizzy, I clung to the harbour wall as Dad's 2-bob pilchard returned to the sea, regaining its freedom on a bed of Kimry news. Entangled in an orange-coloured nylon crab line, its wasted body and bulging eyes rippled on the surface as it slowly made its way to open water, just to taste freedom one more time. It was then that Dad would shout, as he always does at this point in my recollection. His words would sting, poison my very core about the bloody waste and how I should be more careful with the things he bought. He went on so much that ownership would weigh heavily and carried such a high price. It cost us both dearly, as we'd talk sometimes in later years just to get it over with. The fallout was always cushioned on parachute rain clouds, and as they splashed down in the grey-suited water, we would lie in wait, denizens of our own worlds, fit enough to tear each other apart, so that all that remained were pieces scattered like broken fish, washed up on Precambrian razor rocks, rotting in the sunshine distance of separation and death. Try and light this up now. One of my favourite places in the world is Liverpool, and I love the Mersey, and this was written on the side of the Mersey, thankfully. Not I wasn't in it, thankfully. And this is about how people seem to stand and just look for hours at the changing seasons of the Mersey. It's called The Water Must Be Freezing and I've Got a Cat to Feed. The river is a ribbon of steel. Thanks, Paul. The river is a ribbon of steel. I know that. That's why I thought I'd throw it out to you. This river is a ribbon of steel. I haven't written that 3 times. A magnet for lost souls and forgotten goals. It's a scrapyard of broken dreams and rusting hearts. A focus for desolate, desperate eyes. It steals your will, serves up distractions as they are ferried from one side to the other, seeking a new perspective to tip the balance, making the decision on whether to walk home alone with a bag of chips or seriously consider taking the plunge. Thank you. Being from the Black Country, I couldn't leave this place without doing some on the dialect. This one's very tentatively linked with water. It was useful at bath time, so this one's called Bathoscope, and when I read this out I always feel that I'm talking about the 1860s and not the 1960s. That out in Bath had sid some life, red rusty round ondles and donkey's ears howd it was. Fetched off the 6-inch nail in the downstairs privy and carried into the kitchen where it was set down on the oilskin floor. It was slowly filled with the contents of a dozen bile kettles and 3 buckets of Belfast sink water. It was galvanised grey with soap scum and hardware to lime scale. Yet there it steamed in front of the 2-bar electric fire. The smell of dust burning on the elements filled your nose and made it itch. The bright flashes on the wound wire ceramics were make-believe torpedo impacts launched from your plastic stingray as I was lowered like Marineville into the waiting arms of Poseidon. Steam rose from my body and I got scrubbed carbolic pink if I were being dried off with a stiff bristle towel. And that's when Troy Tempest and Phones was put back on the shelf. And I glowed with warmth and love on an island somewhere, just between fire and water.